Mr. Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
our studio.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
Improvised.
Yes.
Since you don't have time, yeah. What is your impression so far from the region? Mr. Rasmussen, thank you very much for this interview for Macedonia National TV. First of all, something which is very important worldwide, that is the crisis in Ukraine. Recently, we have seen withdrawal of the Russian troops from its eastern border with Ukraine. Is this good enough signal that the situation over there goes in a period of stabilization, let's say?
Yeah, I can confirm that we have seen the first signs of a Russian troop withdrawal. And if it is really a clear and meaningful withdrawal of Russian troops, it is a first very important step in the right direction, and we welcome that. We have for a long time urged the Russians to pull back their troops, to de-escalate the situation. And now we hope the presidential elections will go forward in an orderly manner so that we can move forward on a political and diplomatic solution to the crisis in Ukraine.
Could NATO react, let's say, in some other better way in order to prevent this crisis? What is your personal opinion?
Well, I think the right way forward is a political and diplomatic solution. That's why we are not discussing military options. Militarily, we are focused on effective defense and protection of NATO allies. That's why we have enhanced air policing, enhanced exercises, and deployed more naval vessels in the Black Sea and the Baltic Sea. But as regards Ukraine, we do believe that the right way forward is a political and diplomatic solution.
Mm-hmm. This instability reminded us on let's say, Cold War times. Do you have this impression? And this is like an argument. NATO, for instance, suspended cooperation with Russia, 1st of May.
Well, I don't think it's a Cold War as we knew the Cold War. First and foremost, because the Cold War was characterized by the Soviet Union as the ideological communist leader of a bloc of countries globally. This is not the case now. Russia, on the contrary, Russia is quite isolated. Recently, there was a vote in the United Nations General Assembly, and only a very, very few countries supported Russia. So Russia is quite isolated. So in that respect, it's not a new Cold War, but I do agree that it seems that some thinking in the Kremlin has roots back to the Cold War.
Mm-hmm. I understand the position that you intend to put everything in political frames, not talking militarily with this language. But does the alliance have any precautions because of the military power of Russia, let's say, or overall some reaction of Moscow maybe, to have some fears, let's say?
Well, no, not at all. We would at any time be able to provide effective defense of any ally against any threat. But of course no one wants a military confrontation. That's why we are seeking a political and diplomatic solution. But I can assure you that if any nation, including Russia, were to attack a NATO ally, we would stand ready and also be capable to provide effective defense of that ally.
With this situation in Ukraine, it seems that the focus of the alliance is again on Europe. Speaking in this regards, what is your opinion about any possible security risks for the Balkans particularly? It seems that the enlargement goes slow.
Well, actually, the positive news is that today there is a stable situation in the Western Balkans. And I would argue, not least thanks to NATO. Since 1999, NATO has deployed a military mission to Kosovo. We started with 50,000 troops. Today we have just around 5,000 troops present in Kosovo, and that decline in our troop presence reflects a significant improvement of the security situation. And today, both parties, both Serbs and Albanians, consider NATO the guarantor of peace and stability, not only in Kosovo but in the region. So thanks to NATO's engagement, I think the Western Balkans is a quite stable region right now.
Macedonia is very active in the missions of NATO, especially in Afghanistan, with the presence there with the soldiers and all that stuff. And it has open invitation since the Bucharest summit in 2008, but still countries out of the family, let's say. Do you feel like a personal failure because during your mandate this is happening? You're in the end of your mandate now.
Yeah, first of all, let me express a strong appreciation for the significant contribution to our mission in Afghanistan. The fact that we haven't moved forward on accession to NATO is due to a well-known dispute on the name issue. So I don't consider it a personal failure because I'm not in a position to solve that problem. We have reiterated that we stick to the decision we took in Bucharest in 2008, that we are ready to extend an invitation to accession talks with NATO once a mutually acceptable solution to the name issue has been found. And first and foremost, that's an issue to be solved in negotiations between Athens and Skopje.
There is a dilemma within the public that security and the interests of NATO are hostages of will of one member state, Greece in this case. And how can you explain to the public that Greece deny existence of the name and the identity of neighboring country, let's say, as an essential to resolve the name issue?
First of all, let me stress that the decision we took at the Bucharest summit in 2008 is not a decision made by one single ally. It's not just Greece that took that decision that the name issue should be solved. It's a decision taken by all allies, so it's a collective decision. And in NATO, all decisions are made based on a consensus. So all allies have to agree, and that's why I really urge both Athens and Skopje to do their utmost to find a solution to the name issue, because I would very much like to see progress in Skopje's relationship with NATO.
The last one, do you expect any moves, speaking about the negotiations under the auspices of United Nations, do you expect any moves till the upcoming summit in September? And what Macedonia has to do to keep this pace an open invitation for membership?
Well, I hope to see moves, but based on past experience, I won't raise expectations too high. All parties involved know what is necessary, and that's clearly stated in our Bucharest statement, that we will extend an invitation when a solution to the name issue has been found. So in that respect, it's quite easy. But I also know that politically it's more complicated than it seems. But I really appreciate the talks I have had today with political leaders in Skopje. So I hope that we will see some progress before the summit.
The open invitation is not under question. I asked you what Macedonia has to do to keep this pace and open invitation for membership.
Yeah, but I mean, the decision is very clear. Find a solution to the name issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.